So we turn to, I guess, our final and our last speaker, and I might just mention that we've been trying to use technology in order to put this together. So you're going to have to watch me as I awkwardly make it work. Both Andrew and I felt that it was quite the statement to, say, the MICT, for example. You really can't stop the internet. Sorry, guys. All right, so I'm just going to, the next gentleman I'm about to call via Skype. Let me begin by saying that myself, as a member of the foreign media, in fact, I might actually call him and he gets to hear me introduce him. How about that? All right, let's see if he picks up. Yeah, he can't be here, so, you know. Hello, Mr. Marshall. You look like Kun Thaksin up there, right?
I lived for this moment to be speaking to Bangkok by video link, so I'm absolutely delighted to be following in Dr. Thaksin's footsteps.
Oh yeah, be careful what you say. All right, so just hang on a second because I'm just about to introduce you, and we've heard from our other speakers. So just 1 second, you'll like this introduction, I'm sure. So myself, as a member of the foreign media, it is a particular privilege once again to welcome the following guest. Andrew MacGregor Marshall is a freelance journalist based in Asia whose work speaks to politics, human rights, political risk, and media ethics. In his long-standing career at Reuters news agency, Mr. Marshall covered political conflicts from over 36 countries in places as diverse as Iraq, Afghanistan, the Palestinian territories, to Cambodia, Thailand, and East Timor. But in June 2011, Mr. Marshall resigned from Reuters in order to publish what he considered to be one of Thailand's most important and most necessary stories. And this has since become the epic Thai Story, A Secret History of Modern Thailand, an online publication that is banned in the country. The material draws upon an extensive collection of diplomatic cables that were released to WikiLeaks in 2010, and an impressive array of historical and contemporary sources to produce one of the country's most illuminating and in some cases condemning assessments of contemporary Thai affairs. So as a result of the law in question, and no less Thailand's defamation and computer crimes laws, Mr. Marshall has been unable to join us here in person, and I don't think he'll be back for some time, unfortunately. But instead, he joins us via Skype from Singapore, where he is now based. Please join me in welcoming Andrew MacGregor Marshall.
I just want to start by saying, how brave it is for you, Lisa, and Ajahn Sulak to be hosting this event. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And, we'll come on a panel that it's customary to say how humbled we are to be such illustrious panelists. And usually people don't mean it, but quite clearly, this is an incredible assembled. And I really am humbled and privileged to be in this discussion with Ben Anderson, a brilliant academic, Pravit, one of the best journalists on Thailand, or Ajahn Sulak, who's a brilliant independent thinker and was brave enough to host this event when nobody else would. So thank you all very much. I can't really compete with the level of understanding of Thailand the rest of the panel has, so I'm not even going to attempt to. I'm going to focus my comments on one issue that I know about, which is journalism and foreign journalism.
Andrew, as you do speak.
Talk about an archaic and elitist.
True. Can you hear me?
People of Thailand profoundly at a time of great need. I'm referring, of course, to the foreign correspondent to cover Thailand. I think it's been terribly disappointing that the FCCT refused to host this event. And I think in general, foreign media has let Thailand down, and something has to be done about that. So what I want to talk about is what I think foreign media should do to help push forward debate in Thailand and to report the truth, which is, after all, the job of the foreign media. as a foreign correspondent for Reuters for 17 years, I was very conscious that it was my duty to report the truth, and I did it at times of war zones, and I did it at the risk to myself and my colleagues, and some of my friends that have died for this principle. It's a principle that I really believe in, and the reason I believe in it is because I think it does some good. In general, the more people know about their politics and their leaders and their history, the more able they are to make informed decisions about their future, which is obviously a good thing. So when it came to the decision of whether to publish the WikiLeaks cables, which I came into possession of last year, it was never really a question for me. I knew that it would mean I could not return to Thailand. I knew that making me a criminal, I knew I'd have to give up my job. But if you're a journalist, it's our job to tell the truth. You can't just pretend that you don't know something and walk away. You have to make the effort to tell the truth. And so that's what I did. Because I don't think you can report about Thailand properly at the moment without acknowledging that the political crisis Thailand is facing is fundamentally about the appropriate role of the monarchy and the military in Thai society for a century. There's also very important support about the succession and what's going to happen in the current reign. And if journalists don't acknowledge that, they're not telling the story of Thailand properly. The foreign media has a special role in Thailand because we're more protected. Foreigners generally are treated more leniently over lèse majesté. They tend to be routinely pardoned even if they are arrested and jailed. Whereas Thais can face many years in jail. So our media to be at the front of this debate, not at the back of it. But we're not seeing them reporting the truth. I call it efficiency journalism, what most journalists do in Thailand. I want to make clear this is not blanket condemnation of all the foreign media. There are some great foreign journalists there. But in general, people just report what they have to. What they think they can get away with to give an inkling of the situation, but without focusing on the key issues. And that's very disappointing. The FCCT should be at the forefront of demanding change, pressuring the authorities to repeal the lèse majesté law. But they're not. They didn't allow this to happen. But they were quite happy to allow the publicity launch and the press conference for this appalling biography of the king, which I've been writing a very long review of for the past several months. I sat at my desk in December to write a review of this book, thinking it took 2 days, and I'm still writing it because it's turned into really an alternative history of Thailand. But it's really going to be the same as Thai story, but the same works. Yeah, it's using cables to try and report as close as I can to the truth about Thailand's history. When I published the cables, I knew that I would be sacrificed, but compared to those Thais who were in jail and other Thais who were in exile, and people like Pravit and Sulak who faced real problems telling the truth within Thailand, I don't think it was really a big sacrifice. But I did hope that once my story was out there, other foreign media would follow. They would acknowledge the cables. They would use material in the cables to report Thailand more accurately. But they're still pretending the cables don't exist. It's very telling that almost no foreign media has really mentioned the WikiLeaks cables at all since this time last year. And one of the few journalists to mention them is Pravit. So, great respect to him because he does so at much greater risk as a Thai. Where is the foreign media? Why are they not reporting this? Why are they not allowing a debate, a respectful debate that we're having tonight on lèse majesté? Well, they're quite happy to allow MACGREGOR and his friends at the FCCT to launch a book that does not tell the truth about Thailand. It's not really good enough. So I think we need to expect something better from media. In practical terms, what does that mean? I think the most powerful thing the foreign media do is just openly admit that they're restricted in what they say. back in the 1980s during the regime in South Africa, every night on the BBC when they had a report, they would always add a disclaimer at the end of the report. They would say, this report has been compiled under the restrictions on information under the South African government's emergency law. And that was very powerful. It told people that they weren't being told the truth because the government was restricting the truth. And I think journalists have a duty to at least be honest about that. If we can't tell the truth because of the law, we should tell our readers and our viewers. Now, the Thai elites have a very strange relationship with foreign opinion. They kind of crave foreign approval, but at the same time, they rather look down on foreigners. But I think it would be very powerful, very effective, if international media simply give the truth. They did say, if they're reporting from Thailand, that they can't tell the full story. They can't tell the story of the crisis because the law, the majesté and the computer law couldn't telling the truth about the several issues of Thailand's political conflicts. I think if they do that, one, they're being honest to their readers. Number two, I think it would bring some positive change in Thailand because I think once the government realized, once the elites realized that the world knows they're criminalizing discussion of the truth, they'll be forced to bring about some change. Sure, we can't enough variable anymore. Thais are learning this, and it's time to add and discuss their future openly, respectfully. That's the way we're crisis, the height of truth, not by violence, but by open and free discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Andrew. I'm just going to hang you on the line there, but I'm actually just going to pop you in the background. I hope you don't mind.